must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
I'm joining the World Health Organization's Safe Hands Challenge. Hand washing is one of the most effective ways of preventing the spread of coronavirus. Wash your hands with soap and water for at least 40 to 60 seconds.
Whoever heeds discipline shows the way to life. But whoever ignores correction leads others astray. That is in the Bible, Proverbs 10-17. The reason I am quoting this verse, fellow Kenyans, is because the figures that we are hearing today are a clear demonstration that things are not getting better. And people who are telling others that things are better are lying to them. And somehow, somewhere along the line, we seem to have come to the conclusion as a society that things have gone back to normal. Today's figures show things are far, far from normal. Things are very challenging. And those who are exhibiting the indiscipline that I've referred to, leading others astray, are becoming a common phenomenon.
The government of the Republic of Kenya has made efforts, concerted guidelines, and put it out to the public of the Republic of Kenya and the citizens of Kenya. Looking at the trend of what is happening and the events that are shaping around the modeling and the sample modeling of, and a comparison with other states in the world, globally Kenya has done very well. But there seems to be a culture of sliding back, a culture where people want to go back to their old habits. What destroys such an exercise? What brings it to a situation where people need to understand that it is not gone yet, it is here. The virus is here, is with us, is an invisible enemy. An invisible enemy for the people of Kenya to understand that they must help themselves, not help the government, but help themselves to fight the enemy. If we don't unite to fight the enemy, if we slide back to our habits, our behaviors, our eating pattern, our socializing pattern, our praying pattern, our stigma, fear, complacency, impunity. These are the things that are letting down Kenya and most of the parts of Africa. It is therefore my opinion, and our opinion, and the opinion of many other people who are at the forefront in fighting this disease, that the people of Kenya stand firm against the few individuals who are violating the regulations, the guidelines, the restrictions that the government has put in place. Your failure to agree or to abide by these regulations might force the government to take more drastic measures that we might not know because we are not part and parcel of the government. But as the media, we sound what the government has said. Failure to adhere to these principles and guidelines could increase the multiplication or multiply the disease, reproduce the disease in the community. The cases of Isli, the cases of Mombasa, Majengo, where people still eat food in one common place as if they don't know what social distancing is. Such acts, barbaric acts, when you have been actually given the guidelines that this disease enjoys where there is company of being together, that this disease kills when you shake hands, that this disease kills when you cough without covering your arm, with the arm, that this disease can kill if you sit in a car with a person who is either a silent carrier, a passive carrier, or an active carrier. It is up to you, the people and the citizens of the country of Kenya, to adhere to Mutahi Kagwe, to listen to the Minister of Health. The cries are not very far. We know the situation might be difficult, and many people are talking of returning to work. I can see many cars in Nairobi streets, plenty of them coming back and the traffic jam building up, which is a sign that people have returned again to work. But is it the time to do so? It is up to you as a citizen. The legacy trend, therefore, myself and other people want to call upon you to desist, to deny these few people who break the curfew, who drink in estates, who break the restrictions, who ferry people, who sleep locked up in a house of about 50 people, who eat badly, who fail to wash hands, that there is no room for complacency because virus COVID-19 does not choose whom to attack, does not tell you how to attack. It attacks you when you fail to listen to the instructions and the guidelines that the government of the Republic of Kenya has put in place. God bless Kenya.
From the Ministry of Health and working under National Public Health Labs. Today we are visiting the quarantine sites within Nairobi, and the teams are being dispatched out to go and visit the sites. We have the forms which we are going to use to capture the information of the visitors who came from in the country. And we also have the sample collection apparatus, which we have the oropharyngeal swabs and the nasal swabs. And each person is supposed to be taken the two samples, the nasal swab and the oropharyngeal swab. We have our PPEs to protect ourselves. We have the safety gears where we are having this, and the disinfection for disinfecting the apparatus which we are going to use. The waste, we have the biohazard bags where we are going to put all the waste which is generated within the site where we are collecting the specimen. We have the biohazard bags to safeguard the environment. And with us, we have the transport media, because we have to make sure that the samples which we are going to carry, they are if the virus is there, they are viable. So we have the transport media which we are carrying with us, and the we are maintaining the cold chain because we have the cool box which is equipped with the ice packs to maintain the cold chain of the virus as of the samples as we come back. To my fellow Kenyans, I have a word for you today. Kindly stay at home. I am at work to safeguard the environment and to safeguard ourselves. The corona is real. It is real with us. So please let us stay at home as the health workers continue working and supporting the government on the guidelines which they have been put on place.
Mimi naitwa Elio Dibio. Mimi ndio mwenyekiti wa Kamukunji Jua Kali Association. Nataka kusema kwamba hii ugonjwa wa coronavirus ni ugonjwa ambao uko na unashika kila mtu ambaye anaweza kuwa in contact na mtu mwingine ambaye ako nao ama amegusa kitu ambacho kimeguswa na mtu ambaye ako nayo.
Let us wash our hands. Let us keep the social distance given at least 1 meter away from one another. Let us avoid all gatherings, unnecessary gatherings. People believe that sanitizer is the main thing to fight the scourge. Let us just use the soap we have at home, even the bar soaps. So long as we maintain the cleanliness that is required, we are going to fight this.
Ili tubambane na hii ugonjwa ni lazima unawe. Hiyo ndio sababu kama sekta tumeweka hizi mtungi kila mahali ya kunawisa mkono. Na tena tunasema ya kwamba ukiwa unafanya kazi hapa, ama wewe ni customer, ama wewe ni mpita njia, ukikuja lazima unawe. Hiyo ndio kusaidia na ndio kukinga hii ugonjwa.
Hii mitungi ya kunawia mikono, mebasi wetu walichukua jukumu, wanatengeneza hizi mitungi na wanauza kwa bei nafuu, kwa sababu wanapotengeneza hii mitungi sio biashara tu ama pesa tunatafuta. Tunatafuta kwamba hii mitungi iweze kufikia mtu, kila mtu, ndio watu waweze kunawa mikono na waweze kujikinga na hii ugonjwa. Si serikali ambayo inaweza kutusaidia peke yake, ni sisi wenyewe pia tusaidiane kwa kufuatilia ile mambo ambayo tunaambiwa na serikali.
For more information, please dial 719 or *719#. You'll get help immediately from the relevant authorities, particularly from the Ministry of Health.
Pamoja tukomeze corona.
Viewers, welcome to Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting from the Republic of Kenya in Nairobi, in the political command center of Punchline Africa Television, miles away from the general headquarters. I'm Dr. Matsanga, today taking through all of you through this program of Daytime Express. In the political corner, which is in the headquarters, let's introduce our guest first. This morning we have our guest, Lydia Mwangi. Lydia Mwangi will be corresponding for us, wherever you are, when you have time, to talk on social issues, women issues. Lydia Mwangi is a freelancer. Can I say that?
Yeah, you're free to say that.
Yes, she's a freelancer. She will be talking to us on various issues on our radio and our programs. She can come in to contribute in order to make her voice known and to change so many lives in Kenya. Thank you very much. Welcome, Miriam Mwangi.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. In the other corner in the studio is the man himself of Radio Punchline Africa, the radio that 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365, rumba music, African music, Nigerian music, Somali music. Ask that gentleman in the corner. We are full-fledged menu. We don't give you half menu. We give you a full menu, TV, radio. Thank you very much. It's called Pande Makanga.
Mpambe Makanga.
You simply call, jina yako nani bwana jamani?
Naitwa Mpambe Makanga.
Makanga kutoka Radio Punchline Africa. Yenyewe. In the top corner, which is not blue today, is none other than Miriam Obutu, our senior anchor and a researcher in the headquarters. Two ladies, two gentlemen. We have it today. Let's go. First of all, our show today talks about COVID-19. The topic, Miriam, you can go through the topic for us, please.
All right. A very good morning to you, Lillian, Doctor, and also Mpambe, and also a very good morning to our viewers. Good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you're watching us today. Of course, today we're going to look at our topic of discussion today is COVID-19 fatigue evaluation of the strategy so far. Has the government, what it has put in place, has it been working, or is there something else that needs to be done? We shall be interrogating that topic today, and also we shall bring you the latest figures in Kenya that really are worrying, and indeed across other East African countries.
Thank you very much. Begin by telling us the shocker of the figures as we stand now. Yesterday, the Minister of the CS Health, Mr. Mutahi Kagwe, announced some shocking figures, one of history, in the 50-something days of 66 people so far tested. And the figures came to about 66. So Miriam, bring us to date, please.
All right, so in Kenya here, the total confirmed cases is 1,029. 50 people have died, 366 others have recovered. Indeed, it was the largest number of numbers recorded yesterday at 66 to bring that total of the number there to 1,029. And also we go to South Sudan, where the confirmed cases right now are a bit up. I see Mpambe has not updated this, but I think yesterday also they recorded their highest number, about 134 new cases there in South Sudan. So I'll bring you the latest there. And also Uganda, the confirmed cases right now is 264 with 4 deaths and 4 recoveries there. And in Uganda, confirmed cases is 264 with 65 recoveries. Tanzania have not updated the latest. South Africa still leads with 18,003 cases, and the death toll there 339. Recoveries is 8,950, and the rest we shall update you later on during diaspora dispatches.
Let's start with our guest, Lily.
Yes.
These figures, your comment. Just the microphone.
I think the figures are worrying, especially the trend. As to what we have been seeing lately, the curve is only going up. Despite all the measures that we've put to flatten the curve, the number of new cases are going up daily. And so the figures are worrying, especially in Africa and in Kenya, to be specific. So one of the things I think we should be thinking about right now is mass testing, because as we can see, the more we test, the more figures we are recording daily. So if we can start thinking about mass testing and how it can be rolled out to the rest of the population, I think that will be key into making and implementing and making policies that will guide on how we go forward from where we are now.
Mass testing. And this morning in my The Legacy Trend, I'd written that very early in the morning.
Yeah.
And I can see the government has just released a few minutes ago, a document. I think Miriam has it, which our studio can put on the screen for us to see. Places where you can now go for testing in every area in Nairobi.
Yeah.
Starting from yesterday, you are now able to go. Change of strategy.
Yeah.
Time comes when you change fatigue evaluation of every exercise. We need to evaluate. Have we moved forward? Are we moving backwards? Are we stagnant? Are people disciplined?
Yeah.
The figures of yesterday worried every Kenyan, everybody outside in the diaspora.
Yeah.
People were calling me last night saying, hey, what is happening here? But if you have done sample modeling, like I've done, I can assure you that the government tackling of this COVID-19, the strategy is very good.
Yeah.
Because right now, if we go for mass testing, that is where you can now eliminate the scourge, because the scourge has been on contacts, but now allow people to come freely after you have contained easily those areas that you see are hot spots, and you have followed everything, whoever is in your custody, in your record. I think that is the best, the strategy that Kenyan government is using. Uganda government is using a different strategy. Of course, coupled with militarism. Some military operations that make people disciplined. The Kenyan population is never, you cannot trample on them without Omutata going to court. Because if you put some regulations that will shock them, Omutata will be in court in the morning. Pambe.
Yes, Doctor.
Yes, Joambi.
You are. Yeah, and of course, if maybe I can be given a chance to say something about it, that the number is rising day by day. And of course, that confirms to us that there's no imported cases, there are no imported cases, and the local transmission is so high here in Kenya. But again, talking about the fact that we are going to do the mass testing, will people actually come out freely, voluntarily to be tested? That is
hold the fire. Now that is hold the fire. That is a question you have brought to the panel, Miriam. Mm-hmm. He has thrown us a challenge. Will people come out freely?
Yes, he has. I think
before you begin.
Yes.
We have talked about this thing before.
We have been talking about
it. People fear in Africa, if you go to the hospital and they give you a bottle for stool, you might even go with that bottle home. The medical caretaker or the nurse will wait for you to return the bottle. You have gone home. People fear. There is that stigma. That's one. There is that fear. To tell an African that go and bring me your stool to an English person, to a white person, is very easy. He will go in the toilet and bring you the stool. But an African will say, no. How can I bring my stool like this? Wait until tomorrow. So, Miriam, give us, put us in.
Yes, just to put that into perspective, what Mpambe there has communicated about will Kenyans now agree to come out and be mass tested. I think there was one huge hindrance that I think that the government of Kenya has taken care of, and that was the charges and the price that was going to come with that, and that is what scared Kenyan off. But we see the government has dealt with that, so now I think that more Kenyans will be encouraged to come out, because they're realizing this is for their own good. I'm hoping, because the places where, the mass testing, the government has tried in Italy, the government has tried in Mombasa, Old Town, the government has tried in Kawangware, and we've seen a few Kenyans coming out to be mass tested. And of course, it has given out now the list of places that it's looking forward to mass test in the next few days. And so we are hoping that more Kenyans will come out and really get mass tested, because what they feared about taking care of the charges there, that was a bit high for a normal Kenyan. I think that the government has sorted out. So I think Kenyans don't have a reason now not to go out for mass testing. So I am optimistic that more Kenyans will be encouraged to come out and be tested.
Okay, Didi?
On the issue of stigma, I think it's a very complicated issue that we are dealing with. First of all, owing to our African culture, it means that most of us actually don't like going to hospital or don't actually, believe in what the complementary kind of medicine. And so that is going to be very difficult. And I'd like to see how the government is going to really handle that. On the issue of the test itself, you as well acknowledge that the test is a bit invasive. So most people are feeling a bit uncomfortable with how the test is being carried on. And lastly, on the issue of stigma, like we saw last week in Kenya, a lady in Muranga who's been stigmatized because her sister got sick or is being suspected to be COVID positive. We are also seeing rising cases in Mombasa where many cases are actually dying from home because they are afraid to go to hospital and get tested. So these are issues that we are dealing with. And I'd really like to know how the government is going to handle that. On the same case, I think we can be able to reduce the stigma by information dissemination. The more we give the population information, the more they are actually going to be open to going for this test, and they're going to know that that COVID-19 is not a do or die, kind of disease. People are recovering every day. So also the way we selling the information to the people is really going to affect how they are going to take it and how the stigma is going to be. So I also would advise the government officials that there's so much fear and there's so much information that is bringing fear into the population. So how do we package the information so that everybody knows that the COVID-19 is not a do or die kind of disease, that it is actually, people are actually recovering, so that they can be open to testing and they can actually be open to receiving the recoveries back into the society.
Thank you very much, Lily. You've raised serious points there. I think we have a situation where not enough education has flown down to people. Because first of all, this is a disease which condemns you to death. As soon as people are fearing. You have 10 children in the house. And then you go to hospital, hii kitu inasema kwe, you have got it. Now, it means you are rolling the entire 10 children, your wife. You see, that's why people are fearing. And we must talk about these things openly as people who are involved in this. This COVID is around here. It's invisible. And if we don't encourage people through civic education to tell them that there is need for you to be tested and you can be allowed to stay in your home, all of treatment in London, in US, London, all these places, treatment there was no medicine. I'm telling you, Miriam, and the panel and Lily, there was no medicine. People have not, only the elderly people were the ones taken to ventilators. The most acute case is the one that was told to go to the hospital. People in London just were told after the symptoms, they have said, you have it, it's not very acute, go back home, start this, start that, take that, buy this, buy this. And so we need that education. We don't have structures. We don't have social workers. We don't have community workers. We don't have volunteers.
Yes, doctor. We don't have all of that. But what do we have now, and what can we work with moving forward? Because this is something that requires immediate attention. So as much as I think that there are a couple of, like you mentioned, Lily, and also Doctor, you mentioned the stigma, I think, plays a huge role and on why Kenyans are afraid to go and get tested. And Lily cited that case in Muranga. And I saw another one also, in Nakuru. She went and she got better. She came home. Nobody would even come to see her or even come close to her place. And so we need to put more effort, and we've been saying this time and time again here. There's need to be civil education, Doctor, there, like you've rightly put it, so that some of these myths are demystified. People just don't understand. They just know this thing is death, and when somebody gets it, they don't understand somebody can get better, because they keep saying they believe there's no cure for it. So they're likening it to other very deadly diseases. But they should understand that there's a process when a person goes through it. There's some level of treatment.
Anybody can come in.
Yes,
And
they can get better. Yes.
Thank you for bringing up that point. And actually, this comes in when actually the public trust of the state. Public trust of the state is important here, because when the people trust deeply in public, automatically the anxiety will end. And this is actually critical in inducing the participation and cooperation within the country. And therefore, by enforcing social distancing, it will also be easier for these people, because if they can't understand why the government is putting up these particular measures to contain this the spread of the virus, then it will be so difficult, because you have seen this public participation working in countries like South Korea and China. Once the country, the government has told the people to do one or two things to contain the virus, they follow that and they do it. But here in Kenya, I come across some people who are still maybe discouraged, and they are saying, "Oh, the government is not working on this. Oh, these are just figures." You know, there are some people who are still not believing that there's this virus among us. So I don't know how we can actually remove this notion in their minds.
Lily?
I think that it's the high time as a country and even as a continent, we start thinking of tailor-made solutions towards the COVID-19, because some of the measures that are being recommended, which are good anyway, might not be able to work for our setup. For example, the social distancing, we realize that we have so many informal sectors, informal segments in our continent. So how can we work at social distancing in a place like Kibera, for example? How can we work at social distancing in a place where the whole family of 10 lives under one roof in one bedroom house, you know? So how are we employing all these measures that are being given to help us eradicate the COVID-19. Secondly is the issue that Mbappe raised on public trust to the government. You've realized, and I don't think it's for our continent alone, reading from other continents also, there's very low levels of trust that people have for the government. But how do we make the government right now pass information that people are actually going to verify and people are actually going to believe? The other issue is on discipline, because as you realize, Kenyans are very indisciplined when it comes to obeying government directives. And we've seen this on the road, sometimes owing to the fact that our economy cannot actually support us staying at home for that long. And I've had so many people complain that, you know, our rent, we're still paying rent, we're still, you know, feeding our children, we're still going to meet our daily cost, and actually we are not going to work. Some of the people are on half pay, some of them are on unpaid leave. So how do we tailor make the solution? Looking at our economy and where our economy is right now, because as you realize, Nairobi has gone back to normal. Basically, because most people live on a hand.
It's gone back to normal. It has gone back to over normal. If you go to the restaurants now in Nairobi, people are eating exactly as if there is no COVID-19.
Yes.
Let's be very honest.
Yeah.
You raise very serious point, and Miriam touched on something that after this, I am leaving you people to discuss. There is something that I'm going to give you as a shocker. I usually bring what we call a shock. You will not believe it. Yes.
Yeah, so I think we should be looking at making our own, you know, tailor-made solutions for the COVID-19. That is what I think we should be looking at right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, very true. Because the measures that have been put in place have been put forward from the context of especially the European and the Western world, which they have the capacity to social distance. They have the capacity to have people sit in the house and they'll be paid. They have the capacity of, going and getting tested and all that. And people have been, have been socialized to coordinate and to hear what their government is saying. But as rightfully mentioned it there, Lily, I think our biggest weakness here is the indiscipline that we've seen within our citizens, especially here in Kenya. Can you believe you still walk around the streets of Nairobi and you still spot somebody not wearing a mask, or even a mask not worn properly? So it is the level of indiscipline and the disconnect perhaps between the government and the people that we should see what is the problem here. Why are they not listening to this message? Because Kenya put these measures early enough, and if at all people are really, really keen on following, if you're told don't move from Nairobi to your up country if you really don't have to go there, but you still saw Kenyans going there. I have friends that I know that moved back to the country and they've been locked down there, and now they've even lost their jobs and they don't know when they'll be coming back. And the government made it very clear, if you don't have to go to the village, please do not go to the village. So if Kenyans were adhering to some of these measures from the word go, perhaps even our numbers could not be where we are today. But it is, I think, indiscipline is the biggest problem we have here among the citizens here in Kenya.
Thank you very much, all of you. You have said it, Pande has brought it up. Lilian, you have said something. Miriam on top, there is something I want to tell you. Three things. We lack social contract. Whenever I talk about social contract, people will say, what is it? That behavior, you have mentioned behavior. Behavior comes because when there is social contract, there's a behavior. If you go to the Ministry of Labor today and the social services, you will find a list of social workers. Lily, Miriam, Pande, I want you to be honest. Have you ever been visited by a social worker at your house? Or you find one in your compound or your estate?
Well, I hear they're there. Well, for myself, I've never needed one to start with, but yes, I hear they're there. I've never needed the services of one.
You also hear like I hear.
But they are there. They're there.
But if you go to the Ministry of Social Service of Cherugui, these people are earning money. Our television is to help the government to see this loophole. We are not here to sanitize the people. We only want people to sanitize their hands. They are earning salary. We have social workers who don't see us in the community, who don't give us leaflets from the government. We have the probation workers. If I can ask you today, if you go today to the High Court of the Republic of Kenya, the people who are given bail, some are in Dubai. Covid-19 found them in Dubai. And if you go to the police station, they signed for the whole year. Did you know that there is a probation officer? Have you ever heard of a probation officer?
No.
Aha. You only had it when Joy was being released and told. But no Kenyan knows there is a probation officer. Yeah. Pande, have you ever heard of a probation officer?
I've heard of them, but
they earn money. The fact they sign on 1st of June and arrive there on 30th of June to collect. And nobody, the president is on his own, I'm telling you. And he's watching, his people are watching. Your Excellency, social workers are supposed to help the president and the people to sensitize the people. People are not sensitized. You tell me I live in Gorogocho slum with my 5 children. Then you are telling me now run quickly and test. Then they wait up to 4 o'clock, you are not coming. They say, Daddy has been what? It's gone. So what do they do next? They leave that house and go to the village. Yet testing, they should have waited, sit there, say, Daddy is in hospital. We also want to test you and give you medicine. Uganda, Tanzania. You know why Tanzania? I don't want to bring it here, Miriam, with it about Tanzania, but
I'll talk about it at 11. Yes.
We have managed to pull strings, Miriam. You should be happy. I'll tell you good news in the next program.
Well, I saw that. Yeah, some progress.
Yeah, we pulled strings behind the diplomas. I told you we shall get there
because we talked here, so somebody had to listen.
Yeah, Tanzania, there's a social contract. That's why Mr. Magufuli is playing on his people. Social. Kama Magufuli anasema, Raisi alisema. Finish. Pambe raised the point, there is no public trust.
No public trust.
People don't trust. Have you seen some people even saying, we are waiting for the DP to wear a mask, then we wear.
Well, the DP has been wearing a mask. The last time I checked,
for him, the DP eats well. You can see he has put on weight. He has come out with his mask. Is it max or max? I don't know. Mask. He is in Kikuyu supplying cabbages. You know, we have a problem here. And that problem is one. Is that one. That's point number one. Point number two. Africans wait for dead bodies at the general post office. If they see dead bodies there, all of them will wear masks. We have a problem, not only here, even in Uganda. No, this thing is not killing. You know, if they don't see the pictures in Italy, they can't believe it. Do you know that the Kenyans saw the pictures is when they started paying attention to Mutahi Kagwe. They started watching Mutahi Kagwe after seeing those black bags being thrown in ambulances. They say, this thing is serious. We have that problem. The third point is, how are we going to conquer this COVID-19 when finally, when an African hears there is vaccine equal ataenda. The number of people at the hospitals will rise if there is a breakthrough in hiyo dawa. Sai they are doing hide and seek because they say even if you go there, what are they going to give you? Watakuweka huko ukaa hapo 14 days. I want to go and pull a cat and earn a living for my children. They can't go. So they are waiting for that. I think those are the serious points that you can raise up, which we can do as far. And then, Lilian, you raised discipline. Miriam, you have raised discipline also. Miriam has raised incentives. The government removed all these charges. That is very good so far. Pande, you said public messaging.
Yes. The package.
Public messaging. Mutahi Kagwe. You know, yesterday, one lawyer was saying, why does Mutahi Kagwe brief us every day? Useless. Look at Grandi Mura, that guy there. I don't know whether he studied law, because I can't even have him to be my lawyer. Look, he was saying that Mutahi Kagwe should not brief us at all. If in the United States, Obama, what is this man, this bad man in the States called?
Number 45.
Trump.
Let's just call him number
that
45.
That tall, huge guy, yes. Trump, also comes for what? Briefing. What about here? If Mutahi Kagwe kept quiet, they will again say, this Mutahi Kagwe, they are eating money, that's why they are quiet. And that's why they are coming out to give us an update. The Uganda situation is different. Museveni himself, the general, comes to give the brief. And you don't have any question to ask. If you ask wrongly, you might not get out of State House. Which is very good, and it has disciplined people. So far, Uganda, give it a credit, it has not lost one single soul. Did you know that? Yes. Uganda has not lost a single soul on COVID-19. What Uganda did, and maybe which Kenya should do a bit, they went back to first March. You know, first March, when the planes were still coming here, they collected the manifest. Everybody who arrived here and is a Kenyan would be where? In quarantine. And that's what they did. And that's how they have been able to track everybody who arrived from 1st March up to today. They got them, and that's it. There's no community reproduction of any disease anywhere in that country, which is a good sign. There's only the route, this route from Mombasa up to Kampala, Kigali, where the trailer goes on supplying until it reaches. So, on this subject of COVID-19, quick, each of you have a minute, 1 minute comment before we come to one of the most toughest subject now, the newspapers, headlines. And I believe that's where Mangi will help us really with an extra brain to add on what we have. The headlines, 1 minute each. Let me start with ladies. Mr. Pambe, you have to wait. Lilian.
I think that, COVID-19 is here to stay. We haven't as yet gotten a vaccine or medicine or a cure, and it's going to take time for us to get there. So my advice to the government today will be, let us look into how we can be able to implement policies that are going to help us to live with COVID-19 as it is. And let us look into how we can also be able to tailor-make our own solutions and not just copy and paste what is being done from the West. Lastly, I wish to congratulate the government so far. I think at a personal level, the government of Kenya is really trying to contain this disease and to appreciate what they are doing, and to also urge Kenyans that we need to take care. It's our lives and our lives matter. So we really need to take care of ourselves. We really need to follow the government directives, and we really need to start having a little bit of trust with our government so that we can be able to survive this pandemic and also come out of it alive and know how we can be able to recover our economy and our ways of life. Yes.
Thank you very much. Pambe.
Yes. First of all, I want
to goes to you in the headquarters. Yes.
I want to congratulate the government of Kenya for the important or essential services that they have actually given out, and with as much as the efforts that have actually put in place to contain the spread of virus. But again, I want also to challenge those people who are there to offer essential services. We saw the other day a Nairobi-based nurse who traveled to Nakuru to visit her boyfriend, just under a pretext of going to offer essential services. But apart from that, you saw an ambulance carrying some boys.
It's also, Mr. Pande, by the way, is also an essential service.
Yes, exactly. So we must style up also. We should not use our privilege to again contribute to the spread of this virus. You saw the other day some boys carrying alcohol in an ambulance. An ambulance that should be offering essential services. So people who are actually there to offer these services should also know their place to act, and also to be responsible in this particular containment of the virus, and support the government towards that particular effort. So that's what I just want to say for now.
Use that opportunity to invite people to your radio station.
And our radio Punchline Africa. Hii ni radio ambayo tunazungumza mambo mbalimbali ya kisiasa, kijamii na hata uchumi, ili kuweza kukuza Kenya na hata Afrika kwa jumla. Kumbuka unaweza kutupata kupitia kwenye tovuti yetu ama ile website www.punchlineafricatv.com/radio.html. Vile vile unaweza kujiunga nasi kupitia kwa Facebook page yetu Radio Punchline Africa. Unaweza kujiunga nasi pia kupitia kwenye Twitter handle @Radio Punchline Africa.
I can see. Yes. Asante sana ndugu yetu ya Kiswahili. Mtu ya Kiswahili hapo kwa Radio Punchline Africa. Tunashukuru sana sisi watu ya Tanzania. Makati tulikuwa huko 78 na 79. Tulikuwa makati ya Mwalimu Nyerere. Lakini tunashukuru sana kwa sisi. Leo tunashukuru sana kwako. Tumekuja hapa, tutasikiliza radio yako, tutasikia, tutaamua. Sisi wa Tanzania tuko hapa kwenu East Africa. Asante sana. Now one thing, Miriam, yes. We have a lot of viewers who have been calling us, who have been chatting with us.
Yeah, before the viewer, my final, yes.
This is not final. We are only
on the COVID as we continue with the rest of the topics. Yes. And so, I think as much as, I think Ugandan government has done well, and these other governments across Africa. And right now in Africa, we have 11, COVID-free countries which had COVID-19, and now they've worked so hard, and now they are COVID-19 free, and that is very commendable. But also here in Kenya, I think the government has really been doing its best, and I know we can sit here and criticize government all day long, but on this one, I think the Ministry of Health, with the CS leading there, Mr. Mutahi Kagwe, has put his foot forward and has been doing the very best they can in regards to dealing with the COVID-19. But there seems to be a problem there in regards to the disconnect between what the government is saying and what the people are hearing. The government is saying, because you cannot say there has not been awareness created. The government speaks all the time. We see it during these updates. And the government, the messaging is clear, but I don't know how people receive it. There is a disconnect with what the government is saying and how the people and what the people are hearing. I think this is where we need to bridge the gap so that this information is able to reach everybody here in Kenya and understand it the way the government is giving it out, because you cannot say the government has not created that awareness, even in regards to stigma and all that we see now happening. The messaging is there, but the people seems not to be receiving it in that regard. So we need to find the disconnect so that this information is understood by every Kenyan, so that we're able to do the right thing and we're able to keep taking care of ourselves. As we do so, we're taking care of the other person. As we protect ourselves, we're protecting the other person. So the messaging there needs to be very clear, and people need to hear it the way the government is saying it.
I'm on the show. Thank you very much, Miriam, and thank you very much, Lydian. It brings us to end of our COVID health program, and Pambe in the studio. Thank you very much. Yes, now, there's one thing that I want to say, which Miriam has pointed out, and our viewers, we shall finally read your messages later. Miriam will do that in the studio. She has enough time to do that for us. But there's something that I want to messaging. Key point that has come out. Messaging, civic education, and the stigma. Messaging is coming because of bad politics. Bad messaging is coming because of bad politics. What Mutahi Kagwe is doing, someone else is doing the opposite. There are some people trying to undermine Mutahi Kagwe, undermine the president's efforts. So that leads us to stage. We are now moving to that stage of combative paper, the headlines this morning, which we have, Miriam, 3 things that have come out from that COVID-19 discussion: messaging, education, stigma, and discipline.
Indiscipline. Like you said, the nurse that Mpambe alluded to. It's very indisciplined. Essential services.
There's no trust.
Yeah.
People have lost trust in the government because people have told the population that, you can imagine some people are even saying, who is eating the money? You have heard that, I think, out there. They are saying this money, someone on social media today wrote and said, when the numbers go up, more money pours in. Can you imagine now where we are heading? Where we are heading? That is what we want to tackle. Bring us on board, Miriam.
All right.
The Star newspaper.
The Star newspaper there, the headlines, we see they're walking away from the DP Ruto. Deputy President allies Oscar Sudi terms the decision a tactical retreat brought about by blackmail. And that story is on page 6 of the Star newspaper. And here we see nominated Senator Millicent Omanga once confessed that were it not for Ruto, she would be hawking bed sheets. And so it seems to be one of the people who have made that tactical retreat there. So the story is on page 6 of the Star newspaper. Maybe just a line there so that I can context it for Lillian and also to Mpam, because they don't have the newspapers with them. Yes.
Do you have the paper? Do you have the Star newspaper? The Star newspaper.
You don't have the paper, right? So, do you have the paper?
You don't have this paper, no.
All right, okay. And so our key allies of Deputy President William Ruto appear to have abandoned him at his hour of need as President Uhuru Kenyatta intensifies his onslaught on the DP's foot soldiers. The Star has established that some of Ruto's vocal lieutenants in the Senate were among the first members to sign a petition to oust Deputy Speaker Kithure Kindiki. What? The tables have turned here. What is happening?
Miriam,
Yes.
Lillian, do we go with... Try it. This is your first time. I know we have ambushed you. You might, for this television, don't worry. You speak up your mind. That's how we are.
I think politics will always be politics. And so what is happening right now is obviously politics. And this is not the first time, of course, we're seeing such kind of trends and such kind of politics being played out in our country. But what is really interesting is on the issues of how they're really packaging the betrayal and how it's really coming out to Kenyans. So I once read in The Art of War, and it says that if words of command are not clear and distinct, and if the orders are not thoroughly understood, then the general is to blame. And here in this context, then the general is the president, and the president is the party leader of Jubilee. And so the party leader has really to take charge of Jubilee and show us that he really is in charge of the party. But here comes an instance where there's two divides in the same house, and there are two people who are pledging their loyalty to two very different leaders, one to the president and the other to the deputy party leader, who also happens to be the deputy president. So it's a really interesting times to be living in Kenya and in our politics right now. But what is happening on the issue of Millicent Omanga also saying that she was really helped by the deputy president, and we can also see her also signing to the papers that where they want to oust Kindiki Kithure, who is also part of their team, is really interesting. So it shows us that politics is about loyalty and interest. So where your interests are not being taken care of, then of course that is not where you want to be. And so this is very interesting with politicians and how they easily jump ship to the other group. But it's something to be looking out in the future. And we really want to see how this plays out. Especially, we want to see how the deputy president and his team are going to respond to the changes that are being made in Jubilee right now. But I would really support the move by the president. One, because he has really been on the spot for so many issues and has kept quiet for quite a long time. And so we're seeing him take charge now of the Jubilee party as we know it. But we also want to see the survival of this party at the end of the day. How are they going to make sure that they go through these murky waters, and at the end of the day, we have a party or we have a coalition that can really go into the next election stronger than they even went into the 2017 election.
Oh, I don't think it will be. Now, let me listen. Thank you very much, Lily. I think you opened up. I was worried about ambushing you with politics, madam, but I think you've done very well. Now, Bambe.
Yes, Doctor.
Miriam has posed us a very serious question. I am only moderating, but I'm going to give you my views. And my views are very sharp. Me, I don't hide. I tell the truth. What is your view?
And exactly. So actually my view on this is that I've just come to wonder why some of these legislators have actually come out again to start maybe trying to pretend that they were not opposing what Mr. President was doing or his move. And of course, yesterday we saw 11 senators coming out strongly to say that they were sorry for not attending the 11th May meeting that the President Uhuru Kenyatta called in the State House, like Naomi Wako, Christine Zawadi, and Mary Senator, Victor Pringay, among others, and also including Omanga Vincent. And of course, those people, I think they have just come to realize that actually the tide is heading or moving towards the place that they were not anticipating. So they are also regretting maybe to have made the step of not supporting Mr. President in his in achieving his legacy in this particular time. And actually, they'll have to again think twice, and of course, try to support Mr. President in this. And I'll also try to advise those who are not really trying to support what Mr. President is doing, like Akina Oscar Sudi. You have seen them addressing the media, and I don't know why. Maybe Dr. Matanga will tell me on this. Why are these legislators addressing some of the media, not all media, in their homes? You find that they have convened a meeting with the media, with the press at their homes. Why are not coming out strongly, perhaps here in town or in a certain hotel here in town? And why? What are they? Why? But again, in that particular meeting, in their homes, they are convening a meeting maybe with 10 people or 20 people with this particular presser. And of course, I've only seen 2 televisions, 2 media houses since 2019. They are the ones who have been covering them or their stories. And they bring their stories on Facebook, on social media. Why are they not really trying to just tell the truth to the people who elected them?
All right.
Yes.
Let me help you.
Yes.
Miriam is the moderator. I want to tell you frankly, Your Excellency President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, I am just saying my mind. If you don't clean this party, you have yourself to blame. You don't have time. His Excellency, the President, has no time. He has less than 2 years left. When it clocks 2021, the mood here will be campaign. Nobody is going to listen. You know that very well. Nobody is going to listen. The mood will be 2021, 2022 elections. The president has time now, this is May, to clean this mess. He has to stamp authority in the party. You cannot be elected as a Democrat. Then you go to House of Congress and you start debating for Republicans. Where have you seen this? Didi, where have you seen it? You are ANC in South Africa. Then you are elected as ANC. You reach there, you now debate on behalf of Malema, that cantankerous younger boy in South Africa. You are ZANU PF. You reach Zimbabwe Parliament, you switch side and start debating, supporting MDC of Morgan Tsvangirai. another Rumpen man down there, the late, with Chamisa. Look at that. That politics, I have never read it anywhere. The post of senator, you are appointed, not elected. To be a senator, leader, majority leader, you are appointed by the president. You are elected as a senator, but appointed to be a leader. If the president removes it, you don't quarrel with him. He appoints another person. That's what happens in normal democracy. But democracy of Kenya, these people have gone to court. They even want to belittle the president more. You saw how Murkomen wrote a full page. They gave him page 2 pages to lambast Uhuru. These guys have not been giving Uhuru respect. Uhuru has walked out. Murathe told you that when Uhuru comes back and bounces back, it can be hot. And that is the Uhuru now. 2, Mr. President, if you do what Gorbachev did in the Soviet Union, it's up to you, Your Excellency. You will regret, not Matanga. Not me. Because the forces that you are, those who are these Omangers who are turning back, coming back now, are the same ones who will be like a Boris Yeltsin. I believe all of you have been students of Russian politics. How Russia collapsed. The Soviet Union collapsed because Gorbachev wanted to do half reform and they left the others waiting down there. They came back on military tanks and overthrew Gorbachev. Gorbachev was under house arrest somewhere in Crimea on holiday, enjoying the sunshine in pajamas and shirts. He was overthrown. The Soviet Union collapsed. Nobody, His Excellency, should not give any listening ear to anyone. Of course, the deputy president, his position is clear. He's constitutional. You can't touch him unless you impeach him on misconduct and corruption, which is very, very embedded. Out of all these cases, they cannot fail to touch. They will get one that will hold.
And doctor,
you remember what kills me most? Lili Mwangi, Miriam Mogutu, Pande is the man of Emerald and Kemerol. That money, 7 billion. Haki ya Mungu, it was sunk. It was eaten like that. Poof. Even His Excellency, the deputy, came to say no. It was not 21. It was 7. And there is a bank guarantee. Don't worry, my friend. Now, if you come before Judge Maraga, do you know what Judge Maraga will go to the clip and look at that clip when you are talking? And you are in front there, he says, sir, were you the one speaking or somebody else? Where is the money? It's not there. Up to today, the people of Elengoyo Marakwet, I cry for them. Landslide, and the landslide is still coming. But they should blame Murkomen for having eaten that man and bought bed sheets for more calicos on the way. Because they buy these things. I think, why? A dam has no bed sheets. Why do you take the man and buy bed sheets and the suka, blanketi, cutlery, saucepan? Where were these saucepans going?
For a hotel.
People bought. You remember the people who were paraded at DCI, 100 of them. They were taken to DCI headquarters with suka, huyu anasema nidunua blanketi ya milioni 10. So these blankets, high class blankets, not ile ya kufunga maiti. Zile mzuri, the hotel.
All right.
Kenyans, you are younger generation yourselves on this TV. You must fight for those type of rights. I can see value in all of you. I can see the pain in Lily. I can see the pain in Miriam. I can see the pain in Pat.
Yes, Doctor, and we seem to be having more pain now, going by the headlines on the Daily Nation this morning. Stolen 328 billion Kenya shillings aid, a cash hidden abroad, a shame of the rich and powerful, stealing from the poor and vulnerable, exposed in a report on how the World Bank's billions show up in politicians' offshore accounts. And I see not just in Kenya. Kenya, it's about 328 billion Kenya shillings. In Tanzania, it's about 61.89 billion Kenya shillings. In Uganda, 28.5 billion Kenya shillings, and Rwanda 20 point, even Rwanda, they have corruption, 20 billion Kenya shillings, and in Burundi 12.9 billion Kenya shillings. So, but we see Kenya leads the pack. Kenya leads the pack. Yeah.
Miriam, is there a country that has no corruption?
Well, I thought Rwanda was clean. That is what you've been. That is the image you're being sold all the time, and I say
no. Rwanda is strict. Because when they get you, they shoot you. Kwisha, utafuzungumizia huko kwa Mungu. Uganda, corruption. You are the only country in East Africa with corruption spread. Unajua kila pale iko mtu na nyumba mzuri. Every tribe in this country has got a house with tiles. I don't know whether you are getting me. I can see all of you getting worried. Every time, Gideon, every tribe, you will find a corrupt person in Kenya. In Uganda, ours is centralized.
It's just for the few top there.
Can I tell you why? No, it is centralized.
Why?
You have to marry somebody who is connected to someone, to somewhere. And then you can get a loan of 500 million to build a factory. That's why I don't want to speak about it. Because if you speak about it, they'll come for you. They are vicious. There's a mafia clique. They are very vicious. Yours is spread. You know, if you got a roadblock on Langata Road and told everybody to bring a land title of the houses in Karen, do you know where cars will end? You'll find some people in Lake Magadi drowning, trying to run away because nobody will account. Very few people out of 100 people, about 3 or 5 people can account for the property in Karen. Am I wrong?
Yeah, it is true.
There, either they were civil servants, from their salary, but 95%, believe me or not, Lily, will not bring you the papers of their houses. They will drive towards Mara, that is Narok, Mara, Afadhali, the animal Simba eats you. Than delivering these papers to Mr. Wabukala. Bishop Wabukala will say, I've laid the roadblock on Langata Road. I want everybody who is coming in town, who lives in Karen, to show me how he bought a house in Karen or Runda. Do you know where people will be? In Narok.
They'll go to Masai. Okay.
And visit the lion.
Wabukala needs to do that. He needs to do more of that.
No, that's it. That's the truth for you younger Kenyans.
Yes.
On a serious note.
Yes.
I don't know what you say about that. That headline is not very good.
Yeah.
By the way, before Lillian comes in, have you seen the NGOs now? They have disappeared.
They disappeared.
Part of this money was NGO money. People bought houses and returned. There are people who are living very cheaply, in very poor condition. They now have a man like a John Moore, has a big house in Karen. He has been in NGO. When I used to go to the ICC, we used to fight there in the corridors of ICC. I said, you have come here, Guana, to choose your country. Don't you have mercy on your own country? He said, no, Uhuru Kenyatta must be detained. And you are the one who supports him, you must also be detained here. So,
all right, yes.
In a nutshell, that's what the headline on Daily Nation says so.
And then down there, just after the headline there, I see Wetangula's warning after the brother dies of COVID-19. Bungoma Senator uses a grim occasion of brother's funeral to advise residents about preventative measures. So Wetangula there, Moses Wetangula, the senator from Bungoma, has lost his brother through COVID-19, and our condolences to him and his family, and perhaps now the message perhaps will help the people of Bungoma there to try and follow some of these measures the government has put in place to ensure they don't contract COVID-19.
Yes.
Going on to the corruption issues, I think that's a very emotional topic, especially for the young people in our continent, leave alone in our country. Because I was reading a meme on the social media, and I don't know if you guys will get the joke, but they say that ask an old person of how they got money or how they got to where they are, and they'll tell you that they started selling a feather. Not even a chicken, a feather. And that is how they've made money and accrued wealth all over the years. And I think that's a very emotional topic, because if you look at the level of unemployment, especially in our country right now, is worrying. And this is a ticking time bomb. And apart from that, we can see the country and also even the continent, we are seeing embezzlement of money every day, and not even now we've stopped talking about millions, or even talking about billions. Meaning that the corruption cases are really going up. And this is one of the reasons why we even have the fights that we have in Jubilee right now, because it's a tussle between the legacy of the president and the presidential bid of the deputy president. And so the president is really hell-bent into fighting corruption. And there are people who are feeling as if we are really targeting them. And one of the things that is affecting us as Kenyans especially is the two-way-two, mentality.
Yes.
Where people think that, we are being targeted as Kikuyus, we are being targeted as Luos, our people are being targeted as Kalenjins, and we really need to get rid of that notion. Because if you look at the money that is being stolen each and every day, is money that is enough to give us these health systems that we are looking for, money that is enough to give us, these jobs that the youth are looking for. So we really should not be taking sides on the fight against corruption. This is something that the youth should really come up front and lead this fight against corruption, and really support the president in fighting corruption, because they are taking opportunities that belong to the youth, and also things that we should be looking into building. And if you look at the whole cases in Africa generally, we can see that each and every day the corruption cases are going high. And like you talked about the NGOs, I had someone say that now we have shifted into brown envelope activists who only have to raise their voices if there's a brown envelope that is coming their way. So these are issues that we should be looking at, and we really should not have these double standards that, we are only fighting corruption if other people are being targeted and not our people per se, because the corruption is affecting each and every person in the society right now. Look at our economy was really going down before COVID, and now COVID happened. And so many things are happening that are really affecting us as a continent. And I really think that on the issue of corruption, we should take a stand and fight corruption as it is, and not really employ this double standard that we always have, that our person is being fought, I don't know, we are targeting certain people. As young people, I believe that it is our time And finally, as I conclude, I believe in generational mission. When you look at our parents, they had the mission to get us into multi-partyism. The ages before that had the mission to get us into to get us independence. And so, as young people, what is our mission? And I believe that it is time that we have economic liberation as a continent. We need to hold our leaders accountable of the funds that are coming our way, because these are taxpayers' money. This is money that they really should account to the COIF and should tell us how they are using this money. And we really should take a stand on corruption as young people. That's my take.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
If I may come in a bit and maybe talk about what Lilian has just spoken. Yes, please. If I may talk about what Lilian has just spoken about, that the young people should come out strongly to condemn this vice that has appeared currently. And it's actually a new norm. It's the new norm today that the youth, even the young people who should be fighting for economic liberation, are the people who are yearning for bigger things in the near future. And of course, they're yearning to be overnight rich people. You know, they want to be overnight billionaires. They want to own gazillas. Just immediately after maybe they get a job. You know, with as much as maybe we may be crying that there are a low number of jobs in Kenya or maybe within Africa. Young people are so ambitious in such a way that they also want to steal money and get riches so fast. So it may be a challenge in this particular generation, which we normally call millennial generation. It will be a challenge for us because we have to change our mind at the same time, reduce that particular yearning that we have of becoming overnight millionaires, because this is actually what is driving even our leaders today. So someone who's actually maybe selling maize on the road today, and when he becomes an MCA, he wants to own maybe a maisonette somewhere in a leafy suburb. So this is actually what is attracting these people, and we should actually come up strong and know why we should condemn this vice that has actually made the society to rot.
All right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Miriam, another headline, I think for me, I just want to thank Lilian for having brought up something the younger generation must take this fight seriously. Because a man like me, I'm on the same side. I'm going. We are going. I'm left with active years, God willing, 20, 25, if he gives me time. But I've stood to fight for the rights, the existence, patriotism, without looking at money. The history of fighting for a cause is in me. And if you can go back and see, Lilian has seen me on since 2010, Miriam saw me, Bande saw me. I did not even know Uhuru Kenyatta. I did not know Ruto. I did not know them. But I knew the danger. There was one danger called Ocampo, ICC. They were very bad. Because they had already injured us. We Ugandans were already injured by ICC. So when I came here in 2005, we were the first country on this planet to be indicted by ICC, wrongly. People had died, yes, but they went to Uganda and indicted one side. They took only one side. They looked for black people. The Luos, they took Luo. They left we Bantu. Have you seen how ICC worked? So when I saw it coming to Kenya, which is already fragmented in tribes, I said it is going to be hell here. Let me tell you, you younger generation who are fighting, especially Lilian, who is in one of this activism. I believe in your group is an active a group. Yeah. Please always put facts first, then money. If someone wants to reward you, can reward you. I want to tell you, I have never even gone near the State House to seek tea with the president, or near annex to have tea with the deputy president, saying that because I stood for you. No. No. No, no, no. Because I saved a country. I did not save one person. Imagine these people had been taken, sentenced to life. How would Kenya be without them? We would be still fighting here. Yeah. There would have been a very big war here. So we saved the country. So thank you very much on that. Corruption. You people have to take lead. The younger generation. Don't think of buying a Range Rover when you can't buy one tire of a bicycle. First, and don't tell. There is this thing I wanted to remove from the politics of Kenya tonight, this morning, of hustler and the dynasty. Hello? Don't tell lies. How could you be a hustler when you have an estate of 40 billion? 40 billion. Susan Kihika is the heir apparent of Kihika's 40 billion estate. How can she be a hustler? Did you know that? You people Kenyans, do you know that? Mm-hmm. She's the heir apparent. So she goes around surely insulting the president on national TV. I am a hustler, we are a hustler group. Which hustler? Let me tell you, there is no hustler here in Kenya. The hustler is you, the downtrodden. There are 3 groups of people in Kenya. And I get it tonight, especially Lilian, take it and argue with your groups because you're a community leader. Let me tell you, it is that the group that did not want to be born where they were. If they had a choice to choose where to be born, they would have. Even me, Matanga, if I was told, if I was asked, I would have said, give birth near Queen Elizabeth. Okay, then we have a group called a thieving nation. There's no hustler here. Hustler group is the downtrodden, the one who pulls the cat. That one in Givrai, in Gikomba. Those are the hustlers. The category of Deputy President Ruto is the thieving group, thieving nation. There's no hustler group here. Where is it? Show me. You have said they started by doing what? Selling what? Chicken, feather. You win a seat in 1994 in Kano. You stick near Moi. You make money. Then you come and tell people you're a hustler. Eh? Where is the hustler here? So Leo, Lydian, I've given you something there to think about. Yeah. 3 categories. Pseudo nation. And when campaign is start, ndio moto itawakia hapo. Utautuonesha sisi Hasara ulikuwa wapi? Kama umekula hapo, I like the way Mudavadi hides. You know Mudavadi, when they talk about these things, because Mudavadi also is a beneficiary of his father was very close. So how can he say he condemned Uhuru Kenyatta? How will he condemn Raila? Did they say, don't produce us here? They had no choice. And that is what they call politics of compensation. Compensational politics. My father produced me without shoes. I was eaten by jiggers. So when my jiggers pierced me and I've reached where I can grab, haki ya Mungu, I can grab even legs. Unakata mtu mguu so that the jigger goes with the other leg. So that you compensate. Compensational politics is what has killed Africa. Because your father did not buy you shoes. You have now reached where other people have shoes. You say you must compensate for the loss. Isn't it what drives us to steal? Thank you very much. And Miriam, back to you. If there are any queries, we want to thank our guests. We have a very interesting topic at 11. If you want to join, the one of Tanzania.
Okay.
The relationship, diplomatic, this one is very interesting. It does not have problems like the one here, where we talk about the Azora nation. This one, we are going to talk facts.
Okay.
With other guests. If you want to stay, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we want to thank you very much. I will come back to you again anytime in the afternoon to give you, if you want to be joining us on a weekly, we shall be sending you, now we have your number, shall be sending you our programs. Can you also bring a youth program? Especially we have a youth, when do we have a youth program, Miriam?
We don't.
I think tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
The youth program, we have now initiated a youth program.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Now, there is where you are. Help us. Me, on that one, I will be the panel head. You, I and Miriam, we shall be the panel head. And you and the Pande can struggle there with other youths. You can also bring in other youths whom you can interview once they have Skype. We have Skype that can take 8 to 10 people. Good of your organization. We want to bring you as a youth to be talking to the nation. At least they will hear. And more being a lady, they will hear more than Kipambe will be trashed in 1 minute to say he's a man. This man. But for you, they fear to attack you. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We shall come back to you. That's the topic. You've seen it on the screen?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Silent.
No, it is coming on the screen.
Perhaps I read it for you. Silent diplomacy and dialogue can resolve issues, and we shall be looking at the story between Kenya and Tanzania. We saw the misunderstanding that was there, but we see now the two governments are working together in resolving that. So we shall be having that conversation later on. Well, in about half an hour now, Doctor, we have to go. Yes.
No, we have all finished. We need to take a break and come back at 11. If Didi says she will join us, will you join us?
Yes, I will join you.
Yeah, with the Danny, what is Sin Wesonga?
Sean, yes.
Sin Wesonga, the you, and then we have another guest, Major retired Bijiwe, an expert on security matters. Myself, we can be 5. We don't. No, yeah, we can be 5. I think we can accommodate even 5, 10.
Yeah, Zoom can accommodate 100 people, so we're good.
No, our satellite is okay. We can accommodate.
Yes.
So you can join us at 11. I hope you have learned something from here.
Yeah, I've really learned a lot.
Fight for the youth. Don't fear to talk. For me, I'm a general. I can go, I'm in the sunset. The sun is about to fall. Miriam was already condemned me to going on that on that road. So we elders are about to go. You are going to be there. Miriam will leave you to prepare for that show. You will come back at 11, isn't it?
Yes, thank you so much, Lillian Mwangi. I hope we'll see you here at 11 again. And yes, our viewers, thank you so much for watching us. Let's meet here at 11 a.m. for Diplomatic Clicks.
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.